Hi everybody, this is Jamie from the Unlikely Homeschool. Last summer I posted a video series called 5 Days of Scheduling Your Entire School Year, and it was in that post that I shared that I only homeschool 4 times a week. And since then I've gotten quite a few questions about why I do that and how I implement that and get everything in only 4 days a week. And so I thought I'd do a little mini series about the whys and the hows of scheduling 4 days a week. So today I'm going to be sharing why I schedule 4 times a week, and then in a few days I'll be sharing the hows. So we're just tackling the whys today. Now, going back to when my daughter was in preschool, when I only had one learner at home, initially we started homeschooling 3 days a week because it was just preschool, and then a 4th day in that same week, I usually had some sort of outside activity that would get us out of the house to socialize. I was a team leader for a local chapter of MOPS, and so once a week, twice a month I should say, we would head out the door, me and all the little kids, and I would have a chance to socialize and interact and learn from other moms, and my kids would have a chance to be in a little small group of kids their own age and socialize and do some craft projects. And so that was twice a month, every other week. And then on the opposite weeks, I had gathered together with some other soon-to-be homeschool moms that had hopes of homeschooling that also had preschoolers, and we started a little preschool co-op. It was mostly just intentional play with some themes, but that happened on the opposite week, so once a week. So initially, when we started homeschooling, once a week we had an outside of the house commitment. Then as my daughter grew and went into kindergarten and 1st grade and 2nd grade, and then I had another kindergartner coming along, we actually continued those same 2 commitments. We continued to have our preschool co-op, which kind of evolved into a regular homeschool co-op, and that was once a week, every other week. And then, although I stopped doing MOPS, I joined a Titus II mentorship program where older moms would come alongside younger moms and encourage them and equip them in the gospel and in the word and in just practical living skills. And in tandem with that, there was a children's program including a small group of homeschooled kids. And there's a young woman kind enough to volunteer her time to come in and do some intentional crafts and games and stories and themed units with the homeschool kids, and that's twice a month. And that's a great time for my kids to socialize and meet with other kids. So those 1 day a week commitments continued even after we kind of veered out of the preschool days. And so we still have that 1 day, once a week commitment. And so in looking at our schedule to schedule a whole entire week of homeschool, because we have that once a week commitment that lasts half the day, there really wasn't a whole lot of time, once we got home and after lunch and kind of got reorganized to actually even do school. And so I just purposed, instead of trying to tackle a whole day's worth of school in a couple of hours, I purposed to take that time and use it for other things, school related, but that weren't so structured and organized. Oftentimes we use that time to run to the library. Sometimes it just happens, those days happen to fall on a music lesson day, so we head off to music lessons. And let's face it, sometimes mom just needs a catch-up day on laundry and cleaning the house. It also has sort of evolved into a catch-up school day. So if we happen to start a big craft project or maybe a big science project or something in school that we just need a little bit more extra time, that it doesn't always get done in a traditional school day, we oftentimes save that for that 5th day of the week, that off day when we're not doing structured learning. So essentially we're doing school 4 days a week, regular traditional learning, and then on one of the days of the week, it's either a Monday or a Tuesday depending upon which week it falls on, we are in some sort of social setting, a club or a co-op of sorts, to get that social aspect in and group learning and learning from others. And that's half the day, and the rest of the half of the day is spent learning more organically, learning through life, oftentimes starting a house project together or getting caught up on some of those school things. So that's kind of the whys of why we only homeschool 4 days a week. I just found that after doing it during the preschool years, it was just a natural evolution to continue on doing it. And quite frankly, I haven't noticed that my kids are falling behind. I would say if I were to put my kids in a traditional school, they would be learning just as much, because there's a lot of downtime in a traditional school due to discipline issues or just sort of that herd mentality that has to come when you're teaching a lot of kids at one time. So if you were to add up all those little pockets of missed time throughout the week, they would equal one whole day off of school where you're not actually learning anything. And so we just choose as a homeschool family to take one day off of that structured learning and learn a little bit differently and more organically. And I do find value in my kids having that social aspect at least once a week, where they come together with other kids of all different ages and learn together and do some of those fun craft projects or group sports or group games that would be kind of difficult for me to structure here at home. So that's the whys of why we only homeschool 4 days a week. And in a few days I'll be tackling the hows and how I piece together 5-day-a-week curriculums and squeeze it all into 4 days and still get everything done. So I hope you'll join me for that. Happy homeschooling.